Hi everyone. Mia's dad's birthday this weekend. I have to talk quietly so that he doesn't hear us. Mia wanted to make a cake for her dad. She wanted to make a Star Wars cake, which I'm afraid we draw the line at that. We're not very good at doing that sort of thing. But because Mia's mom is an artist and a stylist, she's lucky because Tina Marie is going to make up a beautiful drawing of Gerard's favorite character, which is Yoda. Is that correct?
Yeah.
He's a little one with ears.
Yeah.
So we are making our literally foolproof chocolate cake. Quick and easy. Then we will take a break, obviously while it cools, because you don't want to stare at me for the next hour while it cools. And then Shay will come back to do the icing, because he's the expert at the icing. I do not have the patience for that icing. So let us get started. You're going to need 2 cake tins, about a 20 centimeter cake tin. This is slightly bigger, and we've got to grease the inside, so we're going to do it with spray and cook. Let's hope I don't get a coughing fit. Do it really well, okay? You want this to come out easily. Okay, then we are going to make I do this every time. We're going to make a cartouche. A cartouche is actually something that goes on top of a frying pan when you want to steam your onions or your vegetables, but it works very, very well as a covering on the base of a cake tin. So you take a piece of baking paper, not grease paper, baking paper, okay? Size depends on the size of your tin. You're going to fold it in half, facing away from you. Okay, and then you are going to fold it in half again. Now, the closed side faces towards you and the open sides away from you. Put your finger on the corner tip, left hand bottom corner tip, just to guide you, and fold it over as if you are making a triangle. Give it to me with the corners. And you carry on doing that fold until it's nice and thin. You can't fold anymore. That's basically it. Okay, this looks like a modified, what those things called? Paper planes. Okay, that is what you're going to look for. You're going to take the tip and you're going to sort of measure in the middle of your pan. And because we want it to go up on the sides, we're going to cut it a little bit further. And you cut it off. Of course, it helps if you have a scissors that work, and voila, you have a circle, and you push that in. Okay, it must come up the sides, especially if you've got a baking tin or a cake tin that has a ridge in it, otherwise the cake catches in the ridge. Okay, spray and cook that. Okay, let's put that aside and get on with this. Is a buttermilk based cake and a coffee based cake and an oil based cake. So with those 3 together, that means you have got a very tender crumb, and on top of that the cake lasts for very long because it's not butter, it's oil. So we're going to start with mixing the sugar and the eggs together. This is your important part. This is what incorporates the air. So you please be patient. Don't let this stop halfway through. Eggs, 3 eggs, oil, give it a little whiff. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and with that, you are going to need 1 3/4 cup of sugar. You're not going to put the sugar in immediately.
Caster sugar.
Caster sugar. This is where a lot of people go wrong. Start beating your eggs up first. Let me clear this away before Shay moans at me. Right, let's get going. On a high speed, break your eggs up. They'll start to change color and go creamy. Okay, when they are, doesn't take long, when they are just changed color, gone from your bright yellow to a pale yellow, you can start adding your sugar bit by bit. That's not a meringue, so it doesn't need to be added teaspoon by teaspoon, but just shake in and mix. We're looking for the mixture to double in size and be smooth and pale, and it'll form a ribbon. We'll show you what we mean. Don't try to speed up this part. You will see some videos or some cookbooks say throw the whole lot in together. You can. Both Shay and I are just more comfortable doing it this way. Needless to say, if you've got a big fancy mixer, do it in that. That is why I should not use spray and cook. You can see it starting to emulsify, coming together, getting thick, bubbles are disappearing. We aim for a wedge. Almost there. I'm going to throw it in two separate lots. You don't need to be gentle, you need that thick creamy look. Last one. You see how lovely and thick that is? Now let's first see. When you lift it up, it's supposed to leave how long, Shay?
It's a 6-second ribbon.
6-second ribbon. That's that ribbon there. It's not enough, so I have to carry on. If you speed up this section, excuse me, if you speed up this section, you're going to get a heavy cake. Okay, almost finished. Sorry guys, I have to get water. I should never do that. I would have thought by now I've learned to spray and cook. Okay, we've got a ribbon that's going to be left. Look at that. Beautiful. Now the oil gets added slowly. It is 1 3/4 cup oil, or 1 1/4.
1 1/2. 1 1/2 cups of oil.
We will put this recipe up. Slowly add the oil in. Don't be in a hurry as well. It's all about emulsifying together. Switch it a little bit up. It's almost like you're making mayonnaise. All mixed in. It's a lot of oil, but this makes a very big cake. All put in. And see, that looks like mayonnaise. Don't get mixed up. This is not mayo, this is our chocolate cake. Beautiful, look at that. I'm just going to switch it on fast for a second. There's the mixture that we are wanting. Okay, now we start adding all the other ingredients. First thing is a teaspoon of vanilla essence. We don't use vanilla extract at the moment. It's difficult to get hold of and it is expensive. You need a cup of buttermilk or mass, or what could you use? Yogurt.
Yeah, you could use yogurt. Or a mixture of the three.
Or a mixture of the three.
If you've got little bits of them.
If you don't have in, it just adds, that's your tender crumb. The recipe that you would receive from us will actually show that tender crumb is by using the buttermilk. And then our lovely ingredient, 80 ml of strong dark coffee. Sorry, I'm just pouring that out here. To double check, I've got 80 ml. It's 1/3 of a cup. Don't always believe all jugs and that. That's why I double check it. Okay. The recipe calls for folding this in. Because we've got a beater that works quite slowly, I'm actually going to use the beater. Okay. because it's got a nice slow speed on it. Get that all mixed in just quickly. You don't want to overwork that, just so that you can see all the coffee and that has gone in. Switch it off. And now you start with your dry ingredients. Very, very simple. Go look at this thing. 1.5 cups of flour, plain flour. If you are substituting, you need to substitute with sunflower seed flour or oat flour. You're going to put in 1 teaspoon of bicarb, not baking powder. Very important, bicarb. The reaction between the bicarb and the buttermilk is what will give your cake its upsy downsy rounds. Do not put in baking powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, get this all put in. Halfway through, you're going to add in your cup of cocoa powder. The reason I do it halfway through, otherwise the cocoa powder goes all over everything. Do it slowly. You do need to sift this. And once again, I'm using a beater. If your beater is too fast, like many of them are, and you don't have a really slow setting, please make sure you rather fold it in by hand. I'm going to have to get in there, squash all the pieces off. Oh, the smells divine. Oh, Shay, we've got chocolate cake.
Yeah, I know.
The only nice part about making videos is that we get to eat everything afterwards, which isn't really good. Okay. Right, I'm taking this, I'm swirling it around, because all of us, including the students, have learnt the hard way when we've had cocoa powder and flour up our noses. Slowly on, and get this mixed in. I'm going to just mix it in a little and finish the rest off by hand. Right, hand, my favorite spatula, scrape the sides of your bowl, and it is under and you bring it over, under and you bring it over. Be patient, it takes time, and you feel like you're never ever going to get it all mixed in, but it does get mixed in.
I also don't want to overmix it as well.
This is, we've got a number of chocolate cake recipes. We've got one other one where you separate the egg whites and the yolks and, you know, fold them in separately. It's also a good one, but this one's much easier, and we just find the flavor on this one is exceptionally good. Okay. You can see, I'm dying to stick my finger. Annabelle, where are you? Michael, where are you?
No, bowl lickers.
The bowl lickers. Oh, Gregory, where's Gregory? Gregory definitely is. Okay. I'm going to put the beater on again.
Not now.
No, not now. I've done that. And so have some of the students done that. Just to get its final mix. All those bakers out there are busy screaming at me, saying you cannot do that. You just cannot do that. Well, guess what? We do it. Okay. Now, that's it. That's finished. Now you need to divide it between the cake tins. If you've got smaller cake tins, it can do 3. Okay, otherwise it's the 2. I'm just wiping up. Trying to do like Shay does, is keep my area clean, which isn't always a possibility. Double check that you've put all your ingredients in, because you know you could forget them. Now to divide the mixture between the 2 cake tins. Not always easy to get it even, obviously, because we do this often, we kind of know what goes in, but otherwise use a scale to make sure that you weigh the ingredients equally. Okay. Scrape every bit. The best piece of equipment you can have in your kitchen is a spatula. One of my bugbears is when you watch the TV programs and they seem to leave half the mixture in the bowl. I've never understood that. You must get every piece out. And then you call people like Annie and Michael. Okay, let's give it a little shake to even it out. Excuse my fingers. I said every bit and piece. Okay. I might not have gotten that as even as it should be. Sorry. Okay. Give it a shake. Drop it once. Give it a shake. Drop it once. 180, 30 to 40 minutes. And we will see you later. Okay, bell's gone. Let's check if it's cooked. Now to check, and don't go and jerk your oven open, just in case your cake isn't cooked. Pull it out, stick in a skewer. Oh, beautiful. Skewer is beautifully clean. Right? They're ready. Okay, let's go for it. Your cake will sink a little bit, but try and be as gentle as possible. Says Cheryl, and she just drops it down there. Next one. And there we go. This is also where you can tell if your cake is ready. It has come away from the sides. Okay, we're going to leave the cake to cool. And once it's cool, it's going to go into the fridge for a little while before Shay starts the icing. And we'll see you later.
Hey, Misa back. I'm here to do the icing, the part of the cake that we all secretly love. When I got a secret, what I do when I get a slice of cake, I actually turn it on its side. Eat it from the bottom, the middle part out, just leaving a little bit of cake, and then you eat that part.
You were brought up correctly, my boy. You were brought up correctly.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to do a butter icing, but first, remember to sanitize your hands. We've got this one that smells like medicine.
You said to me the other day it smelled like sweets.
Yeah, sweets and medicine, a mixture of both. Like Dr. Pepper almost, if you think about that. But I love it. Woo! Okay. So, butter icing. In here I'm doing, this is a double batch, but in here is 160 grams of butter. We're going to soften that. And then we've got here some powdered colors that we're going to use to color it. We've just got a mixture of emerald and a whole bunch of different array of greens because we're doing a Yoda themed cake. Not doing the picture, but we stick into a Yoda color scheme. Okay, so we've got 160 grams of butter, 3 cups of icing sugar inside here. And then to go with that, we've just got a little bit of water. That's all for the icing. Then our filling, we are going to do a chocolate ganache, and we've just got some plain old dark beacon. You can use Cadbury's or Lindt if you have. We need 100 grams of that. Then just a jug and some cream. And for equipment, I've just got an 80 ml cup measure here to go with the cream. We've got a whole lot of these spreaders. You can buy, this is a nice big one. You can buy these all from your general cake shop, boutique, family store, or the baking tin. They're not that expensive. For these 3, I think I paid like a 60, 70 rand around there for that.
What happens if they don't have it? I mean, this is lockdown. You
if
can't
they don't have these, then you can just use a knife if push comes to shove. But we are doing a smooth one. And then I've also got an offset spatula. I prefer offset to normal straight because you can get more control out of it. We've just got a big one here, and then my favorite little small one that I used to keep in my chef jacket here because you'd use it for everything from spreading to turning things over in a pan. But you're going to need these 2. And then I've just got 2 spatulas as well. Okay, so getting started, we're not going to do the butter first, we're going to do the ganache so we can get it cooling. So I'm just going to lightly hit the thing on here. Open this up. Break all your chocolate inside a jug or a bowl, anything that can fit in a microwave. We're going to cheat here. And then,
if they don't have a microwave on a double boiler.
Yeah. Which is just a little bit of water in a pot, and then a bowl stuck on top of that, making sure that the water doesn't hit the pot. You just want the steam. 60 mils or a quarter cup of cream. Going to go in here. Okay. And then remember to put your lid back on so you don't spill the cream everywhere. Just give that a little shake, making sure your chocolate is coated in there.
Okay, my shay's disappeared. We're going to quickly take a sneak peek.
Put it in the microwave for just about 30 seconds, just till the cream starts to steam. Okay. Get out our spatula. Counting.
Okay, we'll take another quick sneak peek. Just look at the texture of that cake. Absolutely divine. Sorry, I'm supposed to be a quiet photographer and stand still.
Your slice of cake is going to get smaller. You misbehave. Okay. See? Perfect. I don't know if I can capture that. You just see a little bit of steam. Okay. Now we're going to set this aside. We're going to leave that there for the cream to do its job and just help melt the chocolate. Okay. So we're going to take our butter. I'm also going to just put this in the microwave just for 3-4 seconds, just to soften up the butter. You just want your finger to be able to make a dent in it quite easily without it being a puddle at the bottom of your bowl. Okay.
If they stirred, getting back to the ganache, if they stirred that ganache too quickly, it's going to split the solids in the chocolate.
Exactly. Okay. See, there. See how my finger just easily just squishes that? That's what you want. That's perfect. Get your beater. We're just going to put it on slow just to start with. We essentially actually want to get this pale because you do not want to have a contrast between your colors and your actual icing. In America, luckily they have a pale butter, a white butter that you can buy from the shops, but in South Africa we don't.
Yeah, we've got that horrible wholesome and that horrible white margarine, which just doesn't do it.
You don't have to get this white, but you do just want to get that very bright yellow color out of it. So I've just wrapped my beater on the floor, turning the bowl as I go along, focus on the area. Almost there. In Cook and Score, they would tell you to beat it until it goes white.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen with margarine. It only happens with butter. You'll never get it white with margarine.
If you don't have butter, there is nothing stopping you using margarine. But we like to get okay. Okay, perfect. See, just to there. It's a little bit lighter than it was. We're just going to use a spatula. Just scrape off your edges. Okay. There we go. Now you always wonder where to wipe this. You just wipe it on your beaters. Okay. Perfect. Whoops. There we go. Put this aside. Our 3 cups of ice and sugar. I'm just going to put a little bit in there, about 8 cups worth. And we're just going to beat this. Just bringing it together so we don't have this huge puff and a cloud of ice and sugar. See? Tie together quite nicely. Once you've done the majority of that, you can throw the rest. I use a big bowl just to avoid a whole lot of ice and sugar going everywhere up your schnoz, which loves to find its way there, and then you wind up sneezing. Just gently. I don't have this on full blast. I'm just working it in until it looks like breadcrumbs. Okay. Now we've got some water here. You can use milk or orange juice or lemon juice if you wanted to. But I've just got a little bit of water here. I'm going to add just a splash. Remember, you can always add, but you can never take away, just to get it going. You see? That's all we needed.
If they add too much water by mistake,
then you will just wind up with a bit slop.
yes,
And then you can add more ice and sugar to it though.
Okay.
But try not to add too much, because otherwise if you add ice and sugar, it's going to wind up very, very sweet. Going, see, mine's still a bit crummy. I'd rather have it thick and thin it out than make it too thin and then thicken it up again. Okay.
go.
We get it. See, there we go. A little bit more. Okay, there, now I can turn my thing up. You want it. Now you can also get a little bit more pale here by beating it up this side. You don't want your icing too stiff as well, because then it will just kind of break your cake apart when you It's a little bit too bitty still, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water. See, then you also get it pale.
Yeah, I can see it getting pale from my angle there. Nice.
Just a smidge more. I'm adding about a teaspoon at a time, you can say. I'm just going to do this. Our beater sounds like it's having a little bit of a hard day here. Okay, so that's what you want. Okay, not too stiff, not too flat. Should be able to just make a nice dent in this.
Yummy.
Okay. You look at my fingers there, but yum.
I didn't catch that.
Okay, put those beaters aside. Whoops, don't fall. Okay, I'm not going to need this anymore. So I'm going to put this aside. Okay, so we're going to take this for now and set it aside. And we're going to come back to our lovely cake. I've got here a board which we're going to use for our thing to ice our cake on. Before we do that, let's check out ganache. See? Mixing it, and it's all coming together. Okay. That's what you want. You want it a little bit thin-ish, just for the beginning. I'm going to go take this and go put it in our fridge just to set.
Let me just see the inside of that. I never caught a good one, please. Oh,
See?
okay. Thank you.
Right here, we have a big cake board and we've got a cake wheel. These are used to ice cakes, do decorations and that on there, just help with the turning of the cake. When you want to ice it, it just makes your job a lot easier. Okay, so we're going to take our cake. There. Gently, always with two hands, find your center. Just pop that down there. I've done the bottom half with the top side down. That just makes it easier for when you're scooping it up. Okay, get that on there. We've got some lovely marmalade, which is going to help counteract our bitterness, our sweetness of our icing.
My favorite.
So I'm going to put this on there.
You could use jam, lemon curd,
All those kinds of things.
all those kinds of things.
Working from the middle out.
That's a chunky marmalade.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. Just spreading that all out. I must probably use the rest of this. Yeah. Okay. Just get the rest of this in here. Not a lot. This was about a 1/4 cup of marmalade. So about 3 big tablespoons worth. Okay. Oh, looks lovely. Again, working from the middle out. Make sure that your tongues are evenly spread out. If you've got any like this, trying to get your edges done as well. Okay.
That kind of soaks into the cake.
Yeah, it does. Oh, delish. Okay. Perfect. Then, let me take our next layer. Whoops. Put this on the side here. Take this out of time.
Now we made a double batch of cake because we double batch people.
Okay, so I just line up my edges. Perfect. Okay. Just move this over onto the side. Let's go get our ganache.
Okay, so Mia, while Shay's disappeared, if you make yours in the small 20 centimeter tins, you will get 3 layers out. We made these in the bigger tins, so we only got 2 layers, so we've doubled it up. You can make as many of the cake as you want to.
Okay. Again, I'm going to take our ganache, put it in the middle, just in the middle. Okay. Put that aside. Then I'm going to use our lovely offset spatula that we got. Remember, working from the middle out.
The cakes were in the fridge, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the fridge, which helps with the setting of the icing. Okay, see, I'm not doing it completely to the edge because when we put the other layer on, it's just going to squish it all out. So then that will fill up the edge. Okay, I'm going to save that there. Put that out. Okay, perfect. Let's take another half of our cake. Ooh. Okay, that goes on there. Line your one edge up. Perfect. And our rest of our ganache.
Or you could add caramel treats.
Yeah, you can definitely add caramel treat. You can add pretty much whatever you want to in the middle.
If this was Kai, it would be peppermint arrow. All our students, guys, you all have your likes and dislikes.
I would stay away from like whipped cream or that because that will just go watery. You could obviously put icing in between it as well, but then that would just make your cake really, really sweet. Okay, I'm just going to go see if we've got more marmalade.
On the door of the fridge.
You're going to mix the two. So we've got lovely marmalade at the bottom.
That's the bitter one.
And then the middle is ganache. And we got some bitter marmalade. Remember, working from the middle out. So we kind of mix the two. So you can get a contrast of the different tastes.
Orange and chocolate.
Oh, okay, now I'm going to stick that back in there. Oops. Perfect.
Come, Shay, hurry. It's nearly tea time.
Okay. My mom's getting antsy here. Working from the middle out. That's where the bonus of this cake wheel comes in. Okay. Perfect, looks lovely. Okay, now we're going to take our other layer. And just flip it over. Carefully peel that off. And we don't want those bumps. Make sure the one end's lined up. Slowly take your hand away. Okay. Perfect. Nice and flat. Oh, that looks absolutely amazing. Okay, now, normally you would put that in the fridge just to set a bit. Normally overnight, because then it would help with the whole icing thing altogether. But we're just going to deal with that for now. So we're going to take our icing again. I've got 2 bowls here that we are going to use to divide our colors into.
If they don't have colors and they want to make chocolate icing,
You can add cocoa and that
powder.
to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want too much color. So I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of that one. And same for this. We only want a little bit of color. Okay. Oops. I almost ran away, but I got it in time.
You give Shay the opportunity to play with icing, and it's like playing with a toy.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got our lovely colors here. Oh, that looks like quite a nice one. Colors are just a experience thing. There's no too much or too little. Start with a little and work your way up. With the liquid ones, I would start with the very little, the Moyers ones, because they can make your cake split. I mean, your icing. Your icing will split because you're adding a liquid to it. So I've got the dark one. I'm just going to work
Powders
this.
and gels and that are available from the cake shops, not at Pick and Pay.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Just hold on to it. Thinking Yoda here. Oh, look at that. Okay. Perfect. See? Lovely. I'll scrape that off. Looking good. Just clean the whole thing without me messing everywhere. Me thinks I work dirty, I does. Okay. Next one. We use that. Oh, let's go for a little bit of a darker contrast here. Whoops. Better put this in. Okay. Add it in. I've got a 1.25 mils. So
Quarter spoon.
Yeah, a quarter teaspoon. Go back on. Oops, Mr. Squeaky. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, just work that in. Not being too aggressive. You don't want the color to get real. Ooh, this looks like the Hulk. That nice, deep forest green. Leafy green, I think they call it. We'll call this Yoda green. Oh, lovely. Okay. I like the marbled contrast look to it, so I don't really mix it in all the way. You just don't want streaks of powder. So just flatten it as you go along. Okay. Perfect. I started with the lighter one first since I'm using the same spatula. So we've got these 2 lovely different greens, okay? We're going to set those aside. Got to go back to our cake here. What geez today. Okay. First, we can do a crumb layer. The crumb layer is the first layer on the cake that kind of helps stop the crumbs, the actual crumbs, lifting off the cake when you're busy icing it. So you're just going to take some icing. And just work it around your cake. Just a little bit more. I'm just going up. Okay, perfect. Just go up in sections. Put that back in there. Take your spatula, make sure it's clean. Working outside from the middle out. Oops. Oh, what's that there? That's good. There we go. Just working from the outside out. You can see all the crumbs lifting off. This is what the crumb layer does. Okay. Always working from your middle out.
Why do you work from the middle out?
It's just it increases the chances for you to get your cake very evenly spread out.
Oh, okay.
See? I'm not squishing the spatula straight down against the cake. I'm almost just gliding it along. Like if you're spreading peanut butter over your toast. Get your spatula here. And you're just going over your...
This is like the start of one of those things that they call the naked cakes.
Yeah.
Where it's just got a bit of icing on it.
That's what we're doing. Okay. Don't worry about your board. We'll clean that afterwards. Okay, you just want to get this as spread out as you can. All those Instagram videos that you see when they do this so quickly, it does take this long. They just edit it all out. Okay, so we've got that initial layer on. Now we're going to get the rest onto our cake. Take a little bit at a time. I had a little bit too much there. And you're going to again, going from the bottom, working your way up. Have a little bit more. You could do a piping bag and you could pipe this on. That would work perfectly well. Trying to make sure you get it in all those nooks and crannies. Okay. Okay. Just make sure I clean this off. And the rest is going to go on top. You kind of just have to balance out your icing between the two. I'll put a little bit more here, so I'll put this on the side. Just do it now.
Everybody's an individual when it comes to liking the icing on the cake. You and I like, excuse me, lots of icing. Dad doesn't like icing. And I can understand where naked cakes come from.
Whoops.
Just knock the camera, woman.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Put more on there. Ooh. Okay. Get your spatula again. Make sure it's clean. And then from the middle out. Okay. This doesn't really have to be perfect for this part. Try not to have that mound in the middle. Perfect. Get your spatula. Offset it a little bit, not flat. Just give it a little bit of a curve. And turn your thing. And just go around. That's all you're doing. Okay.
And they would do it on a plate and just turn the plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. You just would turn your plate around. Trying to spread out the icing.
Very
Lifting up,
therapeutic icing a cake.
going over. Let your spatula do the work. Okay. Making sure you get the bottom. I'm scraping it off there. Fill in all those areas. Okay, now we've got a little bit left in there. I'm just looking for a space that it doesn't fill. Okay, I have not forgot about our lovely greens. So we've got our two lovely green colors here. Oh, this is when the magic happens. So, you're going to take a little bit, and then literally just put a splotch there. Take there, put a splotch there, put a splotch there. Take a little bit more, and put a dot there.
I can see Shay's playing.
I'm going to put a dot there. Why not? I love doing this. I'll put a dot there, and there. Not really any pattern to it. I'm just dotting this all over the place. Little dot there. Whoops. Little dot on the table. Kind of ice the table. Scrape it off. Put it back on. Why? I don't want to waste the icing.
That's fine. Our tables are highly sanitized.
Mm-hmm. With icing. Okay. Clean your bowl out. Don't waste. Put that little dot there. Repeat the same thing with your little darker icing. Little dot there. It's fine if it overlaps with the other one. Okay, we'll do one more dot there. And then we're going to go all over the sides. Oops. You don't want too much. It is going to spread out.
Going close so that Mia can see all the dots of stuff. You need some. Sorry, my camera work is bad. And we just...
Okay. I'm just going to clean off my spatula here a bit and get this last little bit out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So now we are going to get our lovely big one out. And our lovely spatula.
And once again, if they haven't got that, they can just use a knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So doing the same thing again, you are going to figure out which way your cake thing goes. Mine only goes clockwise. Hold your spatula just a little offset. And just run it around.
I actually liked it even with the splotches on.
Mm-hmm. With the splotches on, it's cool as well. You don't want to mix it too much.
Yeah.
You just want that contrast.
Look at that.
Perfect. I'm not going to do any more there. I'm just going to clean off my spatula. I've got our lovely big one here. Just going to offset it just a bit. And then use this to fill up all those gaps as it goes along. Slowly moving the spatula just a little bit further away from the cake. Checking all the little nooks and crannies. Making sure that it's done.
Whoops.
Okay. Now, the hardest part of this cake is, unfortunately, the corners. So what I like to do is I get my little thing here, almost like an artist's palette. I'll put this here. I've had to do this plenty times. You get your little spatula that you make sure it's clean. And you take a little bit and you go along. And just going down and around. Just on the areas where...
That's quite a big one there.
Put that aside. And you work it around. Oh! Clockwise, Shay. And you go on top there. And then you fix it on this side. This, honestly, just takes time and practice. Just get a little bit off from there.
Yeah, it does. You see when they do it on Instagram, because they speed it up, they have to go around a number of times to get that smooth. There we go.
More the side edge first, and then you worry about the top. See? You get a little bit shine through. That's fine. Okay, alright, I got that. I can just work this around here this way. Always not squishing your spatula against the cake. Because look what happens if I put the spatula and scrape.
Oh, okay.
See?
Done.
That's why you don't do it. So I'm just on the icing. There you go. Along here. And now this top part here as well. Working lightly as you go along. Let's take one more pass over. I don't mind if it's not going to shine. And then around this way. Et voila! Don't mess with your cake too much.
And the bottom part?
If it's got some bottom part pieces, you can just take a spatula and...
Well, so you could also, I suppose, use, because the bottoms of cake are so difficult to do, you could put pipe at the bottom, or you could put chuckles at the bottom, trying to enthuse you to get the chuckles out and put them at the bottom.
Hey.
What Mia wanted here was a flat top, so that they can put a design of Yoda on the top of Gerard's cake. Look at that. It's a Yoda cake. I'm going to have Yoda cake for tea.
You just get a damp cloth, put it around your finger, and work around your edge. Make sure it's a clean cloth, and then voila. You could put a whole bunch of decorations on the walls, and the sky's the limit. Chuckles, as Mom said, some green ones. They got these new green unicorn eggs.
Yes.
Apple flavored jelly eggs.
From Woolworths.
Yes. I did
You're letting people. No, you're letting people know what we do during lockdown. Stop.
But anyway, perfect. It's got a few things on, but I was going for a naked rustic style, because when you put it on, don't overdo it and over mess with the cake. The more you work on it, the hotter it's going to get because of the friction that you're making. Just leave it. Simplicity is best.
I love it.
Enjoy. Bye.